Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Night of Champions predictions. I hope you enjoy this, so let's get into this prediction. The first one will be the pre-show with the Battle Royal. Hard to say who's going to win it. If I had to take a guess who might be the ones who's going to win this Battle Royal, it could be Santino Marella, maybe Drew McIntyre, possibly Zack Ryder if they don't have him totally irrelevant. The people who are going to be in this one, I'm sure it's going to be Heath Slater, Zack Ryder, Santino Marella, Brodus Clay, Tyson Kidd. At least most of the people you usually see on Superstars or NXT is usually. That's how it goes. So, if I had to take a guess of them, that's the one that I said that might win. The one I want to win, that would be Drew McIntyre, would be Santino Marella, and who else would I like that would win? Maybe Brodus Clay. Now, for the opening, it's hard to say which one is going to open. I think it might be the United States Championship right afterwards. No, I'll take that back. The first one that may actually open the show might be the IC Championship. So I'll say it like this. The IC title, Miz versus Sin Cara versus Rey versus Cody. I expect this to be face versus heel at first, for the first 5 or 8 minutes. Then you're going to have what I said in my SmackDown review, where I really hope wouldn't be done right now, but it does make some sense to have a test, Sin Cara versus Rey. Since Sin Cara versus Sin Cara Hurrico against Sin Cara did not work out well last year, it was a disaster. They want to have a test to see if this would even work, this concept would work. So what I believe is going to happen, at first, Miz is going to face Rey, and Cody's going to face Sin Cara. And then eventually Rey and Sin Cara are going to face each other in the ring. I don't believe they'll get after each other at first, and it should be moved first, not actual throwing of blows. Eventually, you'll see either Cody come in or Miz. If I had to take a guess first, it'll be Cody who comes in the ring first. And then that'll break that up. Just to see how these two are going to interact together. Who I think is going to win? I believe the Miz is going to retain, because I believe they want to put a program with Cody and the Miz. That's what I believe. It makes sense. These two are very good, and they can raise each other very well. Who is going to be the face? Now, it's a possibility with Boston, maybe Cody will get a bigger pop than the Miz in this situation. So when you see the pop between the two, you're going to know who's going to be the heel and face if they face off to each other for the IC Championship. My guess is, from the last SmackDown, it might be Cody who becomes the heel and the Miz becoming the face. But I could be wrong. Next, you're going to have the Tag Team Championship. R-Truth and Kofi versus Kane and Daniel Bryan. After all they've been doing in the backstages with the anger management, with the doctor, with the balls, seeing them just go like they're just squirting on themselves, I believe they have to put the straps on them now. If Kofi and R-Truth retain, will make no sense for the storyline they've been doing with Kane and Daniel Bryan. Because if they want to have these two over, basically as either faces or edgy faces, having Kane shift from being more of a heel to like an edgy face or a tweener, it's the only thing they can do. If they let them lose, it's going to be ridiculous. It makes no sense why they even did it. So I'm going to leave it at that. Next one might be, if I'm correct, the Divas Championship. Kaitlyn against Layla. There's no build. It really doesn't matter who wins. If they have Layla turn heel, it might be a little interesting if she's prominently featured, which I don't think she will be. So it really doesn't matter. If I had to guess who's going to retain, it's going to be Layla. And Dolph versus Orton. Whew. It's going to be interesting. I don't think it's going to be at this position in the card. It'll probably be a little bit higher up. But if you're going to say who's going to win this, if Dolph is put over by Orton. It would really do good for his character. Do I believe that Orton's going to do this? No. He didn't lose to Tensai. He won the Tensai. So it's a good possibility that Orton's going to win Night of Champions, but it would be cool if he did. If he lost, it would really give Dolph a really big boost for what happens to the World Championship after Night of Champions. If Dolph loses, this becomes even more relevant, and then eventually I think they're going to have a match with Dolph where he's going to put up basically his Money in the Bank against someone else. If it's not to Orton, it's going to be someone else. So Dolph has to win this. But do I believe he will? No. Next will be the U.S. Championship. It could be lower on the card, but I'm just doing them in this type of order. The U.S. Championship with Antonio Cesaro against whoever's going to win the Battle Royal. Who do I think is going to win? Whoever is there. If it's Santino, if it's Brodus, if it's Drew McIntyre, who I wish would, hopefully they would do something new with him. Maybe they would turn him face on this, because he has not been seen for so long. Maybe he'll turn face. Like I said in my previous video, should Drew McIntyre go back to the Sinister Scotsman, I think I'm going to connect this to it, saying this clearly. If Drew is in the Battle Royal and he wins, I hope they bring him out in the kilt. But if it's any one of them, do I believe he's going to lose this match, Antonio? No. He's been there too soon. It would be ridiculous to have him lose it. But this would be a good way for someone to get a little bit more elevated in the card. At least like for Drew McIntyre. If he turns face in this, and he's wearing his kilt, or even heel and wearing the kilt, it would be a good difference. I don't think he will, but Antonio will probably retain. The U.S. Championship, Sheamus versus ADR. This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say what I believe, and I'm going to say what I want. What I believe is this. ADR, I don't believe is going to win this unless there's some type of swerve from Sheamus. In other words, either Sheamus is tricked into doing the bro kick or basically forced into it. That would be the only way he can win that night. I don't think he'll be able to win them directly. No. So I believe Sheamus is going to retain. Now, what do I believe compared to what I want is this. What I want is let Sheamus win clean. Let him win clean. But then in the backstage, he uses the bro kick on someone. It could be on Otunga. It could be on Rodriguez. It can be on ADR or anyone else. What I want is for Booker T to see that, and then he's going to state for next SmackDown, he's going to strip him and not give ADR the championship now, but he's going to strip him and then have a tournament afterwards. That would make more sense, because this has been done before in previous types of storylines. Let that happen. It'll make it more interesting for Sheamus that he's going to have to battle back to face someone who's won that championship after SmackDown, the next SmackDown that comes out. I think the 21st, that would be that SmackDown. I just looked at my calendar. That would be the best thing to do. I hope that happens. But honestly, Sheamus will probably win anyway, and there's not going to be any real swerve or anything. Now, am I forgetting anything? The last match will be Cena versus Punk. What do I believe? It's a good possibility Punk will retain, and he'll just keep battling with Cena until it comes to Royal Rumble. What I want is that Cena still loses to Punk, but then he basically has some type of change of heart that he's been losing, and then he decides either to start being more of a change of character, like becoming a little more heelish, or he just takes some time off. I wouldn't mind the time off, even if they decide never to change his character. He's been on TV for almost 4 years or 3 years straight. I have not heard Cena being off for long periods of time. As far as I know, Cena has been on TV, constantly on Raw, for so long. And now he's doing also a couple of times SmackDown, not all the time, a few times. He's been on TV too long. either he changes to a little bit of a heel, or he takes some time off, thinking he needs to reevaluate himself because he lost to Punk again. That's what I believe. Now, what do I believe about this show? I believe it's going to be a decent show. It might be an in-between show, say about a C. Unless some of the matches are really good, you're just going to get a C. If Miz does not retain, or if Cody does not win the championship, this is going to bring it down to a C-. I will say this clearly right now. That will bring it down because it will be meaningless for Cody. If it goes even more like what will happen if, let's say ADR wins, it may bring it up. That'll be a little bit of a difference. If Kane and Daniel Bryan doesn't win, that's going to be ridiculous. Kane and Daniel Bryan must win because the storyline they constructed would not make any sense. So I essentially say that this is going to be a C show. I hope you enjoy this Zane view of the predictions of Night of Champion. Subscribe and comment. I'm still thinking of putting, no, I think I will. I'm going to put the Sinister Scotsman link, the video for that one, in the description. Because I truly hope they change Drew McIntyre's character on this Night of Champions using the Battle Royal. Because he has potential. Good night, everybody, and enjoy Night of Champions.